Good Friday morning. Welcome to the WLBB Community Voice, News Talk 1330 FM 106.3, streaming live online at newstalk1330.com. And this morning we're on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. Good morning. My name is Colin Worthington. I'll introduce you to my guests here in just a second. Early voting for the 2018 general primary election runoffs begins on Monday. Early voting takes place only at the temporary elections office inside the former WGTC building on Noonan Road in Carrollton, right across from the sheriff's office. Any registered voter in Carroll County that did not vote in the May 21st general primary, there are approximately 80,000 of people who did not vote, or if you're a resident who did not or who did vote using a Republican ballot or a nonpartisan ballot, you are eligible to vote for the U.S. Congress race, District 3 runoff. Candidates in that race are Mike Dugan of Carrollton and Brian Jack of Peachtree City. They were the top two vote getters in the general primary election. Jack won the majority of the votes during that race. Within the 15-county district, 46.7%. Dugan collected 25%. Now, the winner of that runoff election will face Democrat Maura Keller in the November 5th general election. Also on runoff ballots in Carroll County, a race that will only be presented to 5, 6, or 7 precincts. I've been beating this. I've been trying to determine how many precincts there are voting in this for the last month, and I've just forgotten to confirm that. But there's 5, 6, or 7 is what we're saying, and one of these guys will probably tell me here during the program. The majority of those in southern and eastern Carroll County. They will determine the next District 5 commissioner on the Carroll County Board of Commissioners. Two candidates in this race. We have Ben Hicks, who collected 37.2% of the vote in the general primary back in May, and Lee Powers, who captured 27.6% of the vote in that 7-person race. Again, only registered voters living within this commission district who either did not vote at all in the general primary last month or did vote using a Republican ballot or a nonpartisan ballot can vote in this particular runoff. And since no candidate qualified as a Democrat in this race, the winner of this runoff will be sworn in as District 5 Commissioner in January of 2024 at the latest. There's always incidents where the current commissioner may resign or step down early or whatever, but at this point, they'd be sworn in January of 2025. And that's the race we're discussing this morning. We have the two aforementioned candidates, Lee Powers sitting to my left and Ben Hicks sitting to my right. Gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. And thanks for coming out here. We had commented, talked with people working in the office on how often we're able to bring in the candidates for a race to sit down together and have the conversation, so it is unique. And I decided to do this for several reasons. We did it probably 10 years ago by the last time we did it, but I've already interviewed each candidate for a half hour each. They decide who gets to go first on the show and who gets to go second, get to hear the initial program, and hey, got to get used to a seemingly uncomfortable situation if you're going to be a commissioner. So we'll make that happen this morning. All right, first of all, we're going to start. I'll start on my left here with Lee Powers. Introduce yourself, introduce yourself as a candidate, and not that if you were running for office. Don't tell me you're running for office. Tell me who you are and why you're a good person. If you were trying to woo me, Lee, what are some things that you would tell me?
I'm Lee Powers. I've been married to my wife for 37 years. We have 2 beautiful daughters, 3 beautiful grandchildren. I'm a local business owner here. I've got multiple businesses here in Carroll County. I run Powers Family Farm. My daughter's a farm manager there. We have multiple events. She's got camp open all this week. Every week of this summer, she has a camp for the kids here in the county, except for the July 4th week. But I've been in this county since the early 2000s. I love politics. I love helping people. I love seeing the county grow in the right direction, and that's the reason why that I want to run to make sure that we maintain our farms and our local farms, because it's getting harder and harder to do that.
And I'll come back to you for your motivation for running. But Ben, who are you? What are you about?
I'm Ben Hicks. Born and raised in Carroll County in the community of Lowell. I been there all my life, back home living on my family farm. I have my own little family of Kayla and my beautiful daughter Mila, 5th generation on our family farm. I went through Carroll County school systems and traveled out of town, went to Abraham Baldwin Agriculture College for a little bit. decided I enjoyed Carroll County more than Tifton County or Tift County. Moved back home, worked, for a couple different guys, and then kind of started my own business. And but like I tell people, you never really work for yourself because you always have to work for somebody else to make the money. I'm actively involved in this county, since day one, through different things. One thing I'm super proud of is what we started with our Christmas for the Cause nonprofit organization that we've going on our 5th year, and that's kind of where we buy and provide Christmas for needy families in Carroll County. For those, that aren't fortunate enough to have what we consider to be a decent or nice Christmas, and we're not a handout organization. We're a hand up. We've had several situations where we've gotten some single stay-at-home or single mothers, working 2 jobs, got them out of hotels, got them into houses, stuff like that.
But and Lee, I do intend to give you a chance to talk about anything that you've done to give back to the community, working as well later on in the show. Move on to now your motivation for seeking this office, for wanting to be the District 5 Commissioner.
As far as my motivation, it starts with my daughter. As a father, I say, who's to protect my daughter, better than I will. And as far as who can I trust to, fight for my values and my morals other than myself. And I'm the type that when I see something needs to be done or sees that, there's a slot that needs filling, I don't mind stepping up. And that's what I did. And I'm one of those, I have to jump in head first, full blast, And I'll be honest, this is uncharted territory for me. I've never run for public office. I've never been in public office, but the way I learn is by doing, and that's what I've learned the past couple months is just an abundant amount of information about our county, and about people in general. So,
and I'll give each of you the opportunity, hopefully by the end of the show, to say, give us a little bit of time to say why you should be the one to fill this spot. But what is the motivation? Why are you seeking this position?
Colin, I love helping people, and I grew up in Douglas County, and I saw the way that Douglas County went and all the wrong things that went there. And then my dad, he's a pastor in Noonan for a long time, and I've seen how Carroll County has went the opposite direction that I would like to see. I'm very experienced in business and understand business, and I knew that I know that I can help move the county in the right direction, and hopefully we won't have some of the downfalls that Douglas County's had and Coweta County's had. And like I said, when I was in there before, I was able to do a lot to protect Carroll County land. There was a lot to do. I've done a lot to protect the residents of Carroll County. Helped a lot with individual people, and I love helping people. Our farm's always open. We give a lot back to the community. We help people. We donate a lot of money. Don't necessarily get out and publicize what we do, because I kind of like to do it in private. And we helped multitudes of families last Christmas that wouldn't have had anything if it was not.
And I'll give you the
for
opportunity to talk
Powers
about all that, the opportunities to give back to the community, your perspective on being a public servant. But District 5 Commissioner, do you see, and I'll stick with you here for Lee, a District 5 Commissioner could, what's the difference between somebody who may run for District 1 in Carroll County and District 5? Could the same person do that, or does it need to be a unique individual for District 5, and what would be that uniqueness?
Well, District 5 is a unique district. Mostly it is still agricultural, and agriculture is still the largest industry in Carroll County. And I'm a local farmer. I actually own our farms, and I've had to buy them, and nothing was given to me and my wife. And we did that because we love farming. We love giving back to the community. And it takes I think it's going to take a businessman that's run multi-million-dollar companies before, like myself, to give back to the county, to keep District 5 agricultural, and to keep keep the growth where it needs to be, but also keep our farms and save our family farms.
Well, what you, Ben? Same question. In a perspective of, if you compare, everybody has their own skills and talents, but, they take a different kind of person to represent District 5 on the Board of Commissioners than it would, say, District 1 or District 2.
So District 5, like you said, it's a very unique district. Is the demographic of it, it runs all the way from Rootville over to Whitesburg, Hewlett, Sand Hill, and it touches part of Carrollton right over here over the road. And it's a very broad demographic of people, but agriculture is one of the main, staples of District 5. And I do believe the majority of District 5 is very like-minded thinking. And as far as, saying a businessman or anything like that, I've never myself, I built my business from the ground up. I've never had anything given to me. And as far as my qualifications for running in this office is I'm myself. I work every day for what I have. And, multi-million-dollar businesses or not, I'm not saying I want to open my books, and I'm not asking, for my opponent to open his books, but we're not talking about dollars as far as the experience goes. I've, like I said, built my business from the ground up. I have, started from pretty much zero, but I've taken every opportunity that's been given to me, and then I've, used that opportunity to grow myself and my business, and that's what I plan to do if elected, is to take every opportunity that I can and use the resources that are provided to me through the, commission office.
All right, time right now is 8:41. I want to ask just one more question before we do take our first break. Now, should you become the District 5 Commissioner, and we're sticking with Ben here, and when you put that job on your LinkedIn resume, what would you say is your job? Now, feel free to hype it up and elaborate like everybody else does on LinkedIn, but make constituents understand that you understand what this role is, and maybe give an example of the limitations of that role. So, somebody's not coming to you complaining about Trump or Biden.
So as a District 5 Commissioner, if you read the ACCG handbooks, the county charters, different things, a lot of times people, they put a little more faith in what a District Commissioner actually does. The main thing is budget and policy. I mean, there is, of course, breakdowns through there of what you can affect and stuff, but then a lot of it is just the influence on different things and different people. But a district commissioner is not to micromanage the county government and the employees of the county. We are to be oversight of it, the county workings and the dealings and such. But a district commissioner's job is not to pull up on a road job and say, why aren't y'all working fast enough, or that gravel's not thick enough, or anything like that. But as a district commissioner, I believe my job first and foremost is to represent my people and the people of District 5, and to be the best representation, whether that be the person living in the subdivision close to Carrollton, or that's the person down on the backside at the end of the dirt road that nobody even knows exists in Carroll County. I'm supposed to represent both of those people and represent both of those people to the best of my ability.
All right, Lee, same question.
I think a District 5 Commissioner should be a servant, and servant to the people that we represent, and to to get out in the community and talk to them and take their concerns up to the other Board of Commissioners and handle their concerns. When I was a commissioner there before, that's exactly what I did. I listened to the people. I on every meeting that we had on the zoning thing, I went out and I actually talked to the neighbors and listened to their concerns, and then I'd always voice their concerns at the meetings. But I think you have to be a humble servant, and I think that you have to listen to your people, love your people, and I think that there are certain things that we can do. Our policies and stuff, and policies are very, very important. And that's one thing that I'm very strong on is policies and stuff. And I think that's what sets us apart is me being in business and being a commissioner and understanding business and how it works and understanding setting policies and stuff. But basically, we're a servant. We're a servant to our community, and that's what best describes Lee Powers.
Okay, time right now is 8:45. We'll take our first break, come back and continue our conversation with the two candidates in the runoff for District 5 on the Carroll County Board of Commissioners. More in a minute.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
The Entrepreneur Scholar Journey at Oak Mountain Academy is designed to provide students with a clearly defined curriculum-based track to acquire essential knowledge and skills for success in business and leadership. Critical areas include identifying entrepreneurial characteristics, selecting a value position, and business model development. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us on the mountain. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
8:46, back to the Community Voice. My name's Colin Worthington. My guests, Lee Powers and Ben Hicks. They are the candidates for District 5 for the Carroll County Board of Commissioners. The winner of this race will take that seat in January of 2025. I believe that we'll start with Lee here. March of 2021, Carroll County voters approved a new 6-year SPLOST referendum, which the county projected collecting $119 million in SPLOST revenue over the next 6 years. What's your overall view of the special purpose local option sales tax? And if Carroll County did collect that projected $119 million within a 4-year period, a 5-year period, 5.5-year period, whatever, and if that happened, there could be, in theory, a period of time that perhaps the tax would not be collected, the county would not collect money, people would not pay that tax. But would you be in favor of starting a new, or putting the proposal out to voters, putting a referendum out to voters, after a 4-year period to save that gap?
I think that that is the most fairest tax that we have. We always, when the county needs something, we always have to go to the landowners, and I am a landowner, and it stings us every time that our taxes go up. So I've always liked the SPLOST. I think it helps the county fill in the gaps, especially when we need tractors, and it cannot be used to pay for some things, but improvements and roads and stuff like that. So we use it a lot to take care of some of our roads, repave some of our roads, restripe some of our roads, which we're in desperate need of in District 5. So I'm very much for that, because everybody gets to pay a little bit when you go buy something. So I'm very much in favor of that.
So after the approving the 6-year referendum, if they collect that 119 and it ends, it shuts it down, and say there's a 2-year gap or 1.5-year gap, you'd be in favor of putting it back so that there was not a gap. Okay.
I would.
Same question with you, Ben. Your feelings on SPLOST overall, and then would you support bringing that back early?
Yes, the SPLOST tax, I think it's wonderful on the aspect we get a little bit of everybody's money that comes through the county, whether there's passing through or neighboring counties that come to sporting events, so on. We get to get a little piece of their pie, when they come spend money with our government or with our community and such. But, it's one of those things. We can take the SPLOST and keep, rocking and rolling, because it's I'm very the type that to me it's very minuscule, and so a lot of people don't feel it. It's not like a property tax, and when the property taxes go up, my leasers that I lease a lot of my property from, they want their lease, price to go up and such. So, for me to say I don't personally own any property in Carroll County, it's true, and it's not a secret. But if you, as much property and ground as that I manage and I operate on, taxes, it affects me every single day. But as far as the SPLOST goes, I would definitely be in favor of, bringing it forth to the voters, because that's the biggest thing,
And bringing it forward if there's that gap, if there's a potential for it to end after 4 or 5 years in a 2-year gap.
And let the community decide.
And sticking with SPLOST, now this has happened in the past. The chairperson has asked commissioners to suggest a project that would benefit their district, which it would be put in the referendum that the voters would consider. What the next District 5 commissioner will most likely be in office at the end of the current 6-year SPLOST period. What would you ask for your district?
So, I haven't really addressed that. There's different things. We've got, Lowell is my hometown, so I'm right in the dead center in Rooteville and Wattsburg, and that's going to be the 2 largest cities. But there is different, like Hewlett and Sand Hill. I guess I would more like to see some stuff up that way. Like with the Hewlett, we was talking about before the show that those folks had reached out about that community center. I got an email. I called the number. Anyhow, we haven't been able to get in touch. But projects like that. I know that's an older building. It's a historical building. There's a ball field behind it. I'd like to see some stuff like that be revamped and reused, or not reused, but used for the purposes it was put there for. Place for the kids to go throw baseball. We have the Lowell baseball fields, and they're leased out to some travel ball teams and stuff. But I think it's cool sometimes when I going home, pass by and just see, a dad and a couple sons out there just playing catch. I mean, that's what it's about. It's just having a place for the community to go and enjoy. So as far as, a directed project, I don't know exactly yet what I would do. I'd be open for options, but places like the Hewlett Community Center and different, areas like that, those would be my focus.
How about you, Lee?
Well, in District 5, the first thing I'd like to do is take care of all the safety issues. There's a lot of elderly people in District 5, and one of the most complaints that I've had is the simple lines, the white lines that are on the side of the road and the yellow lines in the center. I would like to get them marked for the elderly people because there is a large group of them in the county, and I'd like to see every road in District 5 be remarked, so it would be it's a safety hazard, especially on Jones Mill Road. I mean, that road is a very dangerous road, and I'd also like to see us help the places like the Whitesburg Library to make sure that's always stay funded, because it's such a it's a cornerstone in Whitesburg, and make sure that we always fund stuff like that. And there's different other projects. I'd like to see Moore's Bridge, some money spent down there to open it up for the public to start using and stuff.
And hopefully I'll be able to get to that question. Josh, I think we will be going to 9:05 this morning at least, if you don't mind handling that over there. All right, and I'll stick with you here, Lee. And it was something that Ben kind of touched on. What role should Carroll County government take in historic preservation, whether we're talking about buildings or sites? I mean, we've got parks out the wazoo, not complaining, love it, but what role can government and should they take as far as preserving historic buildings and lands, or should that be mainly a nonprofit that's focused on that, handling that?
Well, when I was a commissioner before, I know that the previous commissioner tried to get, talking about the Hewlett community, to get it back in the Hewlett community organization. And when I was past commissioner, they asked me, of course I understand, and I'm up at lawyers' offices buying and selling land all the time, and I understood how to do that, and I helped them get it back into the Hewlett community group. That it did belong to the Board of Education, and they deeded it back to there. And I even actually started a fundraiser. It kind of went by the wayside, but I was talking to the lady the other day, and if I'm elected, I'm going to champion that project, and I'm going to try to get, even if I have to put money in myself, and I do that a lot. Even the restrooms, which everybody criticized me for in Rookville.
We'll get to that. We'll have an opportunity to
I
get
was
to it
able
anyway.
to give money back to that.
That time right now is 8:54. Same question, and I guess Lee did touch on some things there. I mean, right now that property, that Sandhill Hewlett property, is in the possession of I guess it's a nonprofit, but it's falling apart. I mean, it's got a big tarp on it. It doesn't look good, and it's getting damaged more day by day. I mean, is that something that the county should step up and say, hey, let us fix this and save this and do something with it, because it would mean a lot to the Hewlett community, and that
Well, I think it's it's one of those things to be looked at. But if the county does step in and intervene, and I think that's where you kind of form it and look at the Clem Community Center. Look how the county, they kind of revamped it, and it's a beautiful, wonderful place now that is used for birthday parties and so on. And so you can't ever say this is exactly what's going to happen, because there's always hiccups and uh-ohs and stuff like that. But I do think it could be looked into as far as the county having to step in and say, hey, you guys aren't doing anything with it. It's falling in. You're not trying. You haven't even cut the grass or knocked the bushes down. So you've got one or two options, and and then move along from there.
All right, time right now is 8:56. We'll take our first break before the top of the hour. Come back with, I guess, about 6 minutes on the program. Try and give you guys a minute and a half for each of my questions before we wrap up the program. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
Oak Mountain Academy is an innovative school of academic excellence celebrating over 61 years. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to join us on the mountain to see our mission and vision in action. Academic excellence, a faith-based environment, and dynamic opportunities are just a few of the reasons our families choose Oak Mountain Academy. Academic scholarships and tuition assistance are available. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
8:57. Welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice. Colin Worthington, Ben Hicks, and Lee Powers, candidates for District 5. I'm not a candidate. These two gentlemen are. And our guest on this morning's Community Voice program. Got about 6 or 7 minutes left here in the show. We frequently see candidates say this very thing, that I'm doing this to give back, or I want to be a servant, want to be part of the community. And we hear their excitement for participating in this role. But then if they don't win, we don't hear a lot about them. Doesn't mean they're not doing things, but we frequently don't see their participation on the county level or city level or anything like that. Is this a servant role? Is this a role? Is something you're interested in to give back? And what are examples of you giving back and being part of the community in the past?
Well, as far as giving back in this role, that's exactly what the job is, because there's a little compensation that goes along with the job, but it's nowhere near what I do believe the time spent and to do the actual job. So the job in itself is just a servant position, and other than now, as far as the county government goes, I've never served in any county role and servant position. But like I touched on at the beginning of the show, my involvement in Christmas for the Cause, I serve on the board of that nonprofit, and we've been rocking and rolling for several years, and it's just grown and grown and grown. And that's what I enjoy doing. And it's not about me; it's about the people, and making sure other people are taken care of, and because I do believe that the more you give, the more you get. And I'm the kind that what goes around comes around, and I love that the community that we have in Carroll County and the money that we raise through our nonprofit, it all comes from like-minded people, just everyday blue-collar workers, not the ultra-rich and the mega millionaires. it's the people that come and spend several $1,000s on items that aren't worth several thousand. Like this last year, we sold 2 Boston butts that raised over $4,000. 2 Boston butts, and that's just you get started with stuff like that, and people just get they get excited and they just enjoy giving at that point. So
Lee.
I love giving back to our county. I know Powers Family Farm gives a lot back to people. Not necessarily do I get out and advertise what we do, but there's many nights that I get a phone call. It was one night in Whitesburg, a little elderly lady lost her power, and I got up in the middle of the night and went down there and made sure their power was up and running. And I do stuff like that all the time. At Christmas time, we try to help as many families as we can. I don't get out there and make a big public about it because I'm kind of a private person. I like to help people in private. I don't get out and boast about what we do and what we don't do, but I do a lot. And you ask the questions, the only reason I'm telling you, but there's multiple times that somebody in Whitesburg or somebody in our district calls not too long ago. They had a driveway that the elderly person couldn't get up and down because they didn't have any way to scrape it, and God's blessed me in so many different ways, and He's blessed me with a great business and a great farm, and I have the equipment to help them, and I went down there and fixed their driveway. I don't do it for recognition. I do it to be a servant, to be a true servant to the community. I can't do it to everybody that calls, but a little old lady that has lost her husband and don't have much family, don't have any money and stuff like that. My heart just bleeds for people like that, and absolutely, if I can do something to give back to the community, I do it. I've got a track record of doing it. I love doing it. I get a lot of personal enjoyment out of helping people, and the people that are in need and doing stuff for others.
All right, time right now is 9:01. I do want to give you guys the opportunity to ask each other a question. I did this when I emceed the GOP Carroll County Carroll County Republican Party forum about a month ago. I did offer that to the congressional candidates. I meant to offer it to the 7 candidates that were up there as well. But you can ask a question. You could be a constituent of Ben's. What kind of question would you ask him right now?
The question that I would ask Ben is, I understand he's young, and I was young once, and I understand that he's has a business working cows and building fences and stuff, but it's a lot more to the county and the multi-million-dollar budget that we have. I think it's almost a $70 million budget. I'd like to ask him what makes him qualified. That he's never done a project that big. Right now we're doing a multi-million-dollar project right here in the county with a big company that I have to manage that kind of stuff every day. So I'd like to ask him what qualifies him to run
to be part
budget,
of that
to be a
group,
part of the budget,
sure.
because that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to have to do that.
You got it. Yeah.
what qualifies me to be a district commissioner, for one, the budget's almost $80 million. It's 79 some change. But two, a district commissioner, it's not a split-second decision, not, on the moment, on the spot. What qualifies me is that I grow and I learn every single day. And I do that by surrounding myself with people that are knowledgeable and by taking advice and listening. And, I'm not a professional at anything except what I claim to be professional in, and that's cattle fence. And as far as business goes, I've handled more than $100 at a time. We'll just put it that way. Sold a good wad of calves Monday, and all it is adding a couple zeros. That's all it is. Got to break down to it as far as being, managing the money aspect of it. But the District 5 commissioner, it's not the sole job to balance the budget. He is supposed to look into the budget and make sure that it all works out and make sure it is good for our district and our side of town. But what qualifies me is that I'm willing to learn and I'm willing to be open and listen. And I think there's good experiences and there's bad experiences, and I hope to have a good experience for 4 years if elected.
Same opportunity to ask Lee a question.
So my question for you, Lee, would be, did you or did you not propose the money for the city of Rootville, vote on the money for the city of Rootville, and then in turn receive the money for the project? Yes or no question.
You're talking about the bathrooms in Rootville. Before I went out of office, we had Barry Huff and the city of Rootville came to us and said, Lee, we have a big Root Fest down here every year, and everybody understands
We
it.
know that.
And they asked me, could we provide some money to do that? And I absolutely, I said, yes, I will, because I love helping people. In doing so, I was out of office, and they asked Barry Huff, and everybody in Rootville knows Barry Huff. He called me up, and he said, Lee, we cannot find anybody to do this and have it done in a timely manner so that it would be done for the Root Fest festival. Could you do that for us? I said, Barry, let me talk to the attorneys, because I did allocate that money. Let me talk to the attorneys and make sure it's legal. I talked to my attorney. I talked to several different attorneys, and they said, yeah, Lee, it would be legal. So I do like to give back to the community, Ben. So yes, I did that project. But see, the going negative like that and putting negative stuff on Facebook and fake Facebook stuff, trying to make it look negative. But what people don't understand, I received the money, but I also gave $7,000 more. It cost me $7,000 more because they had some other projects to do. They needed a wheelchair ramp and railing.
Can I stop you right there?
No, I'm gonna finish
it's
that.
in the minutes that the money was given for the bathrooms and
I guess
the wheelchair ramp.
The question is, I mean, did you vote for something and then vote for a project and then get paid for the project? Is that what we're getting at?
Correct. It's a yes or no question.
We did get paid. We did get the money. My company did get the money to build the bathrooms. But not only did we get the money, I donated $7,000 to finish the project because it wasn't enough money to do the project, and Rootville did not have the money to finish the project. They just didn't have it. So they wanted it finished. So yes, I did it, Ben, but I also donated $7,000 on top of the money that I received.
How much money
did
you receive to do it?
I'd have to look at my books, and I didn't receive the whole $50,000.
And guys, we can put that out there. I mean, we could talk for another 2 hours. I'm sure, and this could have, sparked something else to go down the road. Well, I mean, I want
to clarify the fact that he said he added the wheelchair ramp, but he voted on it's in the minutes. I have the minutes that the $50,000 was to build the bathrooms and the wheelchair ramp for the pavilion. So as the commissioner, you claim to have the experience, but you can't even remember what you voted and approved upon when you were commissioner.
Actually, it was for the bathrooms, the septic system, the grading, the wheelchair ramp. We did a lot more than just a wheelchair ramp, the bathroom stuff. And Ben, we also had to give $7,000 more. We gave $7,000, so actually we didn't make a dime from it, and I gave back to the community $7,000. And anybody wants to look at the books, I'll be happy to do it. We do that. I've done that a lot,
guys. And I encourage listeners to check that out. Reach out to these candidates. What's a good way to reach out to you, Lee? Just for this or any other topic.
You can contact me on Facebook. You can call me 404-969-8169. You can email me. jleepowers@gmail.com or electleepowers at gmail.com. I'd love to have the conversations. I am the most qualified. I have the most experience. I am a taxpayer in this county. Not only do I have to pay taxes, and I think if a candidate is going to want to spend your money, they should be a taxpayer, not leasing land. They should own property, not their family-owned property. They should own property. They should contribute to the county tax base. In order, if you want to take somebody else's money and spend it, I think you need to be a contributor.
Ben, contact information, then of course you get a minute to close.
Contact information is Ben Hicks, 770-722-5861. Best way to reach me, you can reach me on Facebook. I'm on Instagram.